Hey man, the house is on fire and your kids are in the house and you're standing outside saying, oh, the house is on fire. I wish somebody would rescue them. I'll just wait for the fire department. They're hung up, tied up at some other place. I'll just wait. The house is on fire. Your kids are missing out on you right now. And you're believing your attorney that you need to wait 4, 5, 6 months until a family court investigation is done, or a parenting evaluation is done, or the guardian ad litem report is done. What are you waiting on? The house is on fire and the mother threw them into the home, or the mother ran out of the home, or she threw them in the home. The home caught on fire. You escaped and the kids are in the house and you're standing there just hoping that they get out somehow magically. Go in the house and go rescue your kids. You have to have a sense of urgency. The house is on fire. Just talked to a dad today. His attorney is saying he hasn't seen his kids in a few months. There's no court order. And the attorney lied to him and said that the court won't do anything until there's a recommendation. The investigation and recommendation won't come out for 3 months. You guys can't possibly think that this is normal. If you can sit idle and not question anything and not say, well, we got to do something, and you're tolerating the attorney saying that, and you know about me, and you don't call me for months, and you haven't seen your kids for months. I had a guy who called me up. I worked with him in Washington like 4 or 5 years ago. CPS investigated last summer, about June, and said, we find that the mother is abusing the kids. You should go and get custody. He calls me 3 months later. James, I got good news. CPS investigated. Okay, where's the report? I don't have it, but they said all I got to do is request it. What are you waiting on? Why did you call me just now? I can't work with that guy because he doesn't give a shit about his kids enough to do anything. I can't respect that. How the hell are you going to call me 3 months after CPS says that the children are being abused? And the last time he had the kids, like, I think it was August or right before school, they didn't want to go back to the mother. And he sent them back anyway to comply with the order and be a good little bitch. And then he calls me a month or two later, and she's been withholding the children ever since. And he didn't want to do so. He didn't want to call CPS up and request a report. He goes, I got a letter from them, and they told me over the phone that we recommend you go get custody. And he thinks he can go to court and tell the court about a hearsay phone call. The first day that my kid was being withheld from me, I got proactive. This is why I don't understand you people. How the house is on fire and you're looking at the fire and your kids, there's smoke coming out and they're waving out the window, just like those people in 9/11. They're waving for help. Help me, help me. And you're like, I really want to help you. I'm advised by somebody that I should wait until the fire department gets here. So I'm going to wait. Don't worry, the fire department will be here. You guys can't be this stupid. We're talking about your life with your kid, and you're the only one that can fight to get you. The kids need you. Nobody's going to help you. Everybody's against you. The baby's mom's against you. The system is biased. Nobody's coming out of their way to knock on your door and say, hey, we want to bring you into court because we want to give you custody. Will you come to court with us? You have to do it. What are you waiting on? The only reason you would not go to court or do something with court is because you are a pussy or a sissy or a lazy or a coward, or you don't really care about your kids. What the hell is wrong with you guys? The guy that I talked to earlier, his attorney said, oh, we got to wait. They will not grant any visitation until there's a recommendation. We went and looked at the law in his state. And there's all kinds of law about presumption of joint custody. When a parent withholds a child, that's a basis to consider him getting custody. All these things in the law. And this guy, there's a presumption that he's a fit parent acting in the best interest of the child. There's a presumption of joint custody. Why would they not do it? This attorney made up some bullcrap. We got to wait for a recommendation because that stupid jackass has been doing that way. See, these attorneys will come on board, get you excited, $5,000, and then they'll earn that money, and the money's just sitting there, and they already spent it, so they kind of they've lost their motivation. They maybe go to a first hearing, and they're like, well, let's just trust the process. And they milk your money, and they go on to the next retainer, and their focus is their new client. And then they go on to the next retainer, and they want you, come on, man, let's just wrap it up with mediation. But I want to go to trial and fight. I don't want to settle on every other weekend. Well, you're going to lose, or I want $20,000 for trial. because they know that threat is going to make you settle, and they make you settle for less, and they move on to the next one. And you guys trust these people, and you hate me. What the hell is wrong with you? And then you guys get mad at me because I'm saying, grow some balls. If you just take some steps forward, you can get up out of being a lazy bum. What you're doing, like, let's say the guy that I talked to, hopefully he's lighting a fire in his attorney and he's going to get on the fence. This is why I tell you guys not to use attorneys. Go to court yourself. You're waiting on an attorney who doesn't care about you, who only cares about money, and you're trusting your life. That's like calling 911 and say, hey, where's the fire department? They're not here yet. Oh, they'll be there soon. Okay, click. Don't see the fire department for 2. Now the flames are reaching up to the next floor. It's smoke in there, and now the flames are reaching up. I really, really trust the public fire department. I mean, look at what happened in California. I really, really trust the government to make sure that there's water and all the, water isn't diverted away from these areas that are fire, have a lot of fire. And, everybody recommends that they treat the forest and they clean up the forest and they burn the forest. And, they partially burn the forest or chop stuff down so that it's not a tinderbox ready to explode. California didn't want to do that. So there's all these kind of things that led to these uncontrollable fires not being able to be put out when they could have been put out, possibly. That's what a lot of experts are saying, other people are saying. And you're like somebody who would just stand in the fire during the California fires, and like, well, I just trust the government really cares about me. And you see the fires coming, and you're a doofus idiot who's not living in reality. How could you possibly accept that as a man and a human being? You haven't seen your kids in a few months. You need to wait a few more months. They won't order anything. The mother has total domination and control of the kids. And in this particular case, they had some agreements and they had some court order agreements through the summer. And then the mother was violating them. And the attorney's doing a contempt motion, but he won't get the kids to the dad. And he has a great case for custody. And he's not even trying to get any visitation. Meanwhile, the mother's brainwashing them. Next thing you know, in a couple weeks, couple months, or by the time the recommendations come out and they get into court, the kids might be totally brainwashed and totally hate his guts. The house is on fire right now. It's burning, and you're calling, hey, I called 911 a couple times. I haven't seen the fire department yet. Just be assured, just be patient. We'll be there eventually. Okay, I totally trust them, and I'm looking at my kids almost being burned alive. You can't be that stupid. If you're waiting on somebody else to go rescue your kids, or you don't have any contact with your kids, and your attorney won't go to court, and that guy should have had an emergency order the day after their summer orders expired, and the mother was violating his time at the end of the summer. He should have been in ex parte court last October. And I told him what I'm telling you right now. And then we went through the laws in his state, and all the laws favored him getting an emergency motion right now for custody, or at least 50-50. And to keep the mother had taken off across the country and stayed longer than they had agreed. And the dad just let her. He had a chance to intervene. He didn't listen to what I had to say. He just let her. And then she comes back, and there's nothing going on because there's a contempt motion that's lingering out there. And he could have went to ex parte to get an emergency order by now. And he didn't even know that because the attorney never told him. But he also did not call me, and he knew about me. And I'm like, dude, you have to have a sense of urgency. The first minute that somebody's withholding or taking, when somebody steals your car, do you just wait 3 months to report it? Think about this. Think about this really carefully. Somebody breaks in your house and steals something. You got the sliding glass door. It's broken. And then stuff is stolen. Not only do you not fix the sliding glass door, and now you're vulnerable for people walking in and out of your house, you're not calling the cops and recovering your stuff and making sure that person goes to jail. And you're just left open as a target. See how stupid that sounds? That's how stupid men are who are not proactive on their case and at least trying. The house is on fire. Go in and rescue your kids. There's multiple options. If you don't know what they are, call me. If you're not calling me, you are a stupid jackass. And you are your own worst enemy. And this is why I tell people I chew dads out. Because if you would just get off of your fat rear and do something, you might win way more than you could possibly fathom. You'll at least get something or be moving forward. As long as you're sitting stagnant and still the fires are blazing even more, your kids are getting more abused or more damaged or more alienated, and you're just sitting there watching and you're letting it happen. God made you the protector of your family, and you're letting a thief, you're letting the queen take over as the king of the kingdom. Just like in The Lion King, you're letting Scar, a family member, kick you out and make you run away and you're a little bitch until your dad tells you from the sky, hey, look, remember who you are and go back and fight for what's yours. Stop being the Simba bitch. Be the Simba